Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And a very warm welcome to the first Fifth Sense Members Conference. Firstly, I just say I'm absolutely delighted to see so many people there. I'd like to thank you so much for coming, for all your support. I know quite a number of people have travelled quite a long way to be here. One gentleman, James, is flying over from Guernsey, so I think he wins the distance competition. I'd also like to wish a very warm welcome to your and Kirsten from the Dutch Nosmere Association, who I'm sure you all religiously read the newsletters, so you'll be aware that I went over to visit them and do a talk for them back in April. And I'm really, really pleased to say, that they are waiting for the fact that it's interesting actually, because if you get a chance to have a chat with them over lunch, they'll tell you that in the Netherlands, the Dutch Nosmere Association has been running for 10, 12 years now, but despite that, despite all their hard work, the situation in the Netherlands, it's as difficult for people with smell and taste disorders there as it is for us here. But yeah, thanks very much for coming. Just to let you know, we've also got about 60 people here, which I think is fantastic. I've already said to a few people already here that on the basis of the apologies I've received, and bear in mind this has been filmed, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all the other Fifth Sense members who couldn't be here but got in touch to send their apologies. We'd probably filled this room with more, which I think on the basis of having a body now with 450 members, I think that's quite an amazing achievement. So many thanks for all your support for coming along. I think it demonstrates to me just how much of a need that there is for Fifth Sense, and finally, there's an organisation set up that's here to sort of, not only raise awareness of the issues that we face in our day-to-day lives with loss of smell or whatever the problem may be, but also looking at how we can actually further understanding of smell and taste disorders and promote and facilitate research into such conditions. And that's going to be sort of the theme of the talk I do later this afternoon about the future of Fifth Sense. And part of that is going to be about how we can become a registered charity that can then draw down money, potentially from the private sector, because the NHS isn't particularly interested in funding research in smell and taste. We can actually move things forward in terms of treatment and understanding of the condition. I just want to say really that it's actually quite an amazing thing for me personally to be stood here in some ways, because it's less than 2 years ago that I read, about 2 years ago that I read a book called Season to Taste by Molly Birnbaum, who I'm sure a few people here are familiar with. And I'd lost my sense of smell for 6 years by that point, and I knew nothing about it. I didn't even know it had a name. All I'd been told was at the time, after losing it, my doctors that, no one knows anything about it, nothing can be done. It might come back of its own accord. If it doesn't, you'll just have to get on with it. At least it's only a sense of smell. I'm pretty sure there are probably a few people here who've heard that before. And I read this book, and it was an absolute revelation. And I was reading this and thinking, wow, this could change my life. And it has done, because I've sort of then decided, on reading the book, I read about this smell training process that was done by Professor Thomas Hummel, who's an expert in smell and taste disorders in Germany. I contacted Professor Hummel, and he sent me a copy of his paper. He also put me in touch with a gentleman called Carl Philpott. And Carl and I started communicating over email. And Carl sort of mentioned how we've been looking to get a patient support group set up. And I had a look around and thought, I can't believe there's never been anything for smell taste problems before. And I thought, I'm going to go one step further than that. I'm going to try and set up the first registered charity to have ever existed for these sorts of problems in this country, and actually see if we can totally, change things. And an amazing amount has happened since then, really. It's only just over a year ago that I launched the Fifth Sense website, and just a few edited highlights of what we've achieved since then. As I say, UK membership is now approaching 450 people. We're obviously providing information and advice to members, to you all via the website, me, often by email, the newsletters, and also acting as a signpost to treatment, giving you details of people in the UK, such as Mr. Philpott, such as Alicia, who are both here today, and Sam's son, Karinelli in Guildford, who are actually interested in diagnosing and trying to treat people with smell and taste disorders. We're also starting to provide opportunities for our members to be involved with research projects, and Carl is going to be speaking about that a little bit later on. We're also educating people, starting to educate people on the role that the sense of smell plays in our lives. This is something that for me is crucial because, as I learned myself, to understand the loss, for me to really understand the loss of my sense of smell and how it sort of affected me, I had to actually go back and actually learn what it did for me in the first place. And in terms of educating other people, particularly the medical profession, on that, smell and taste disorders do create lots of problems for people, and this is why they should be taken more seriously. More needs to be done. We've actually got to teach them what the sense of smell means, or the sense of smell and taste means in the first place. This education idea is something that I've based the conference itself around. I've structured it because having spoken to so many people via email, I know there is, even amongst ourselves, people who've lost a sense of smell, there probably is maybe a lack of understanding of just how the senses of smell and taste function, what actually the sense of taste is compared to the sense of smell and how they work together. So I really designed today as a case of, well, let's start off by looking at the senses of smell and taste and how they work. Then we'll look at what can actually go wrong with them and the things that can be done. And Carl's going to be talking about that. And we're also going to have a talk from Heather Caroline from Givaudan, who I'm very grateful for coming along today and sharing their knowledge and expertise with us. And then we'll be looking at Alicia is also going to be contributing to that conversation about things that can be done as part of the smell training process, which we're going to be covering. We're going to be looking at current and future research with Carl. And then finally, I'm going to be talking to you about where I see the future of fit space lying, how I see us getting there, and I welcome your contributions to that as well. Oh, and of course, I forget, I'm going to be doing a bit of a food demonstration as well around taste, which should be I'm not cooking. I've sort of done a bit of a Blue Peter job, and it's kind of, here's some things I chopped up earlier. There's a particular challenge involved with this, which I'll tell you all later. I won't go into it now, but we'll get to that point later on. I'm probably more nervous about that than I am. So going back to the education theme, and we're going to start off the day by looking at the senses of smell and taste, what they are and how they work. And I'm delighted to have with us today Mr. Simon Gain, ENT expert, who I'm meeting for the very first time. Lovely to meet you, Simon. Thank you so much.